Sanibonani balandeli, salibingelela ku podcast Yabantu sihamba ne Campro Studios. So today sizobe interviewer uJoyful Ncube, our podcaster. Sawubona futhi.
Yebo kunjani?
Ngiyaphila unjani?
Lami namhlanje ngeke ngihlale ngapha esitulweni sokubuzwa.
Okay, so yeah, siyakubona uyenza lokho kwenzayo. So we want to know ukuthi what inspires all this? Ukhulele kuphi kanjani and all that?
Thank you so much for having me ku podcast Yabantu. I-podcast ebukelwa ngedatha. Mina nginguJoyful Sibongo koNcube ngizalwe esigodini eMbizingwe. Before we even get to what inspires all this, ngizalwe eMbizingwe, ngikhulele khona, ngifuna eMbizingwe primary. Bese ngisiya eNsezi secondary. One of my fondest or fond memories ukukhulela komphana nje eMbizingwe kule peace man, yazi ngathi indawo yangikhona inhle. Selusimbu Mbizingwe isesigodini. Esigodini Mbizingwane district. It is between Mawabeni Sibomvu and Imatopo Hills, ngatsho kanjalo.
Okay, usasilandisela ukuthi ukhule kanjani?
Ekukhuleni ngifunda eMbizingwe primary. Engikhumbula kakhulu ngibhadalelwa ifees, ngiphinde ngithengelwe iuniform iWorld Vision. The reason why ngikushare lokho ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi nginokuthi nxa ngihamba la ekuphileni abantu baloku ngikhangela becabanga ukuthi hayi this one had it all mayekhula or ngu-cheese boy. Akunjalo. Ifees njengoba singikuqambile ukuthi bembhadalelwa iWorld Vision le uniform. Ukutsho khona ukuthi bebenginikeza iuniform kuphela. Isicathulo bengingela. Uthi behamba ngenyawo esikolo.
From uqala isikolo or
from grade 1 up to grade 7. You know, you'll be teased and bullied by some of these kids ukuthi hamba ngenyawo. Ngewinter laphana wazumkenke. Bekusiwa lo mkenke lwana. Abomkenkelano olegazi obuhlungu ukuthi ucina usuqhula. You know, but kwaba into nje nxa umntwana ku affect kakhulu ngajwayela. What I remember though, I think around grade 6 grade 7 bekulesikhathi sokuthi even ngeweekend ubunithola ngiqokelwe lelani ibruku eligreen lesikolo because bengelale lokutshintsha.
Wow.
You know. But at the time bekungasinto enkulu. It wasn't, I mean, kids would be like kids and they didn't really care, especially in my
That's the lifestyle you
Yes. It is only now nxa sesikhulile esengikwazi ukunanzelela ukuthi hey, actually ibruku le uniform ngiliqoka even la ngeweekend, ngiqoka la se church. So izinto ezinye ngithi nxa ngikhangele emuva manje lezo especially ke ngikhuluma ngakho kwebruku kuyangi-inspire. You know, sometimes I always feel like when I tell my story people look at it as if I'm still in the past. No, I tell this story to inspire someone ukuthi even after having gone through that you can be anything else. So up to grade 7 grade 7 ngampasa kahle impela 4 units. But one thing engayinanzelelayo grade 7 ngambhala ngikhathele. I don't know what they were trying to do laphana kokhulu wami. Besazi ukuthi siyabhala. Besiqala sivuke emasimini. Ngama days okubhala nala. And into leyana, yes, it didn't affect me, but I feel like abanye abantwana abaningi kwaba affect khona kana.
Yabe nibhala emini or
bekubhala I think khona to grade 7 ngabhala around 10.
Oh,
you know.
Okay.
So qala emasimini ekseni ulinywe, come back home, geze udle phela breakfast nani yabo porridge lana labo gwadla. And then ususiya esikolweni. So that's my upbringing. And then secondary school ngase ngisiya eNsezi secondary, which is the secondary school esendaweni khona lapho engikhulela khona, but isekudeni kancane. I'm not quite sure of the kilometers, but they always say around like 10 to 12 kilometers. So meaning bemele sivuke ngo-4 ekuseni, prepare and walk to school. Ngena ngo-7, uzoyechayisa ngo-4 emini. The whole day esikolo laphana isisu siyabe sikhala. Sikhala indlala uzosithi grrr.
Uya esikolweni ungadlanga?
Yeah.
Awuphathanga umphako?
Yeah, umphako hayi. Umphako ubungowalaba abatholayo, you know. Ukungadli futhi sometimes ungasiko lokuthi kuthiwa ukudla kwangikhona kukho. Even ukukhona sometimes la selikhangela ukuthi lokho kudla can it be served for either mini or ntambama. So umuntu ayaza kahle even elambile. I saw that, and I mean some of my former schoolmates or classmates can attest, especially thina sasuka khatshana. Very rare you would see us carrying umphako. And also yabona nxa secondary abanye babethwela amagwadla wena bacabanga ukuthi uthwala amagwadla bazothina ama classmates noma other schoolmates. So yeah, I think that's my background in terms of upbringing, cooler and into secondary school.
Okay, so nge upbringing yakho ne ukhula kwakho, how did that affect you?
It affected me a lot. I'm glad that it doesn't affect me now. But how did it affect me? It affected me in the manner that as a child, I felt like the world owed me something. I felt like the village owed me something. I felt like my family, even the extended family, they owed me something because at some point my dad wasn't around. My dad left, and then Salas Kuliswa Mama. And then my older siblings, sebehambile nabo, they are trying in the city, omunye useGoli abanye kuphi. And ngasensele laphana kuyime ngimdala, I think around at the age 14, I was exposed to a lot at a very young age, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared for that. And kumbula ukulela umuzi lo ulama round izindlu ezingu round lezana ezingu 2 awula fence. And uyabususaziwa ngomuzi lwana ukuthi even nxa umuntu ebuza direction, it gets used as ukulayela ukuthi lingadlula yabana lingadlula kulo muzi olezindlu ezingu-2 so ngela fence, then uzobusufikile eplazini kwakule plaza khona lapho. And we grew up like that. And now ukuba lezindlu lezana ezingu-2 means umama the other house eyinye lana around yi bedroom yangikhona bekubizwa kuthiwa ngendlini. Then the other one the kitchen, which also doubles up as our bedroom thina abantwana, where you are sleeping around the
kitchen.
fire. Yes.
Okay.
So nxa kugodola it was an advantage because siyalala sibasa umlilo. I remember with my sister ngesikhathi nxa kulamajodo laphana kupheka umxhanxa wawuphekwa like ntambama. Ebusuku silale siwubhubhula sitshontshe ichukela, you know. So that was their upbringing. And I became angry at the world, at people around me, at the family ukuthi kanti ababoni yini, you know, kanti why bengasincedisi lapha abakwanisa usincedisa khona.
Like, where is the family?
You understand? And you are seeing them. You are seeing them.
And they're doing well.
Yeah. You understand? And at that time, I thought they owed me. It's only now that I realize that actually nobody owes me anything. Nobody owed me anything. And Shem, uchukuthi labo they were babe busy my families and their children and whatnot. And it is only later that I realized. So at some point, I had a lot of questions. That's how it then affected me. And those questions now, the challenge was I was not asking them. I was not asking a particular individual. I was asking myself, meaning I was never going to get any answers. So as a result, there was a point where I was an angry child. I was an angry child who had a lot of questions like, why did my dad leave? Why are we poor? Why singakwazi kwesikolo? Why this, why that? But I never got any answers.
So you were angry at who exactly? Abazali ukuthi they failing you as their kids.
Yeah, I was angry at them. And also I was angry at the world.
Okay.
I would look at other kids and then compare myself or ourselves ukuthi, and why are they, why belazi izinto that thina we don't have? what is so difficult for my parents or for my family, and only to later realize that they were trying. They were trying so hard till today, which is why I appreciate them so much, because only later realized, man, those people were trying. They tried. The fact that we had food, the fact that we had that roof over our heads, it was not the preferable roof that we wanted. It wasn't the preferable food, the preferred food that we wanted. But they made sure we were raised with respect, with integrity, beside all these other things. And thank God, along the way, being exposed to therapy, counseling, and also myself going on to study professional life coaching and whatnot, it really helped me to go back into the past and start dealing with those past childhood traumas. And I can tell you right now, no one can really be perfect, but I can tell you what's in namuhla when I sit here in peace. I sit here in a beautiful relationship with my father, with my mom, and my siblings. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So I just want to ask, considering the fact that you grew up in environment in Jalon and coming from a poor family and stuff, what challenges you faced? I'm sure you have mentioned that, but I want to know if those challenges, are you still facing them? Because sometimes background it has affected throughout.
Yeah.
We understand that.
Yeah.
So were you bullied at school? Did that affect you and all that?
Yeah. Bullying, not so much, because I think I had a strong personality and I was very quiet. So ngicabanga ukuthi abanye abantwana babe kwakusiba nzima ukuthi bangangisukela. But uyabusiba bullied ngezinto ezincane, like nge-service day abanye abantwana babe begqoka impahla wena wula. So thina what we knew ukuthi nge-service day uhamba ugqoka uniform. Vele ngoba kuyafana. So then now you'll be singled out and like called names like, hey, bayahlupheka and but then you get so used to it and then you're like, whatever, kuyafana. So if I now fast forward to when I went to national service, and then I worked at the post office, and when I came to South Africa, there was some point where I realized with kwakusokule behavior that was inspired by that.
Okay.
I started noticing it, but it took me time to realize that this is coming from there, because I wasn't noticing. Like I would be short-tempered and be angry, and I thought that was just my personality, only to realize very late that this is actually coming from that. This is actually coming from that upbringing. This is coming from the end. If it wasn't for being able to speak out, for therapy and all these other sessions, I don't think I was going to be able to understand that. So yes, it did. It did affect me. It affected me even in how I related to people. There was a point where I felt like, I don't want to do anything else in life than just look after my mom. And what I didn't realize was I was now doing it out of pain, not doing it because I have to. And with therapy and counseling, I had to then detach from that space and then do it from because I have to do it, or because I'm able to do it, or because I can afford to do it. So I'm glad that I'm in this space right now.
That's good. So I believe ukuthi ngendlela okhuluma ngayo ukhule ngayo, you couldn't even afford therapy. Tell us about masukhona afford therapy and uqedile isikolo and your journey coming to USA and all that.
Yeah. So the journey and then therapy.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is therapy where I come from? There's nothing
There's
like
no
that.
Therapy.
You know nothing about it. And let's not even talk about affording it yet. You just leave. Because our parents, as we speak, they need therapy. So like as I was saying, therapy is a foreign word to where we come from. I think many of us, if I'm speaking for many of us, only later when you grow up and when you get exposed to things, you start saying, actually, we need help, right? And I feel like our parents also need help, because I've always said that we were raised by parents who needed therapy, but they didn't know what it was. Big corner you need therapy in our space. It's still there, even in the traditional setup where bazokutshela ukuthi kumele ubhodle, kumele ukhulume. sometimes bakuthi hamba ukukhuluma lesihlahla or ledwala lani. But Tina, now when we were growing up, now there was an imbalance and a break in between where we stopped Tina believing in those things. Kumele ubhodla ngingabhodla when the next person uyanjaja. Especially now if I speak for men, ngakhuluma uthi hayi indoda enjani in. And yes, now to answer your other question, secondary ngahamba uform 1, which is another thing that at some point affected me. Angila uniform.
Okay.
Angila stationery. Ifees ayibhadalwanga. Mina uform 1 ngamfunda ngenkani, you can ask the people ngafunda lapho. Ngafunda ngenkani ngodli. Ngoxotshe namuhla for ifees mbuyele kusasa. Ngoxotshe namuhla mbuyele kusasa. Because also I loved school and I was intelligent. So coming from grade 7 upasile, you want to continue, and do better. But it got to that point where it was really frustrating. Now, awula bhuku. Lawo ngu-6-5 olawo lingihamba seliphela. Then I'll go to my friends. Shout out to my friends Onkosilato, Tembelani, Tembelihle Tombodoli, Osteni, Nomagugu, or Anele, Libaning. I remember, no, those guys helped me a lot. We have ibhulaki, especially babevula ama-counter book, and black out ama-pages. Mepo omunye nige 6, omunye nige 6. Then we take ukhali nenarrative sithungele kwelami book. Then I will have a book. And those are things that, as much as this was affecting me, but I had hope because I had people that believed that, no, you need to be here. And then now, because I want to take you to ukuthi isikolo ngaqeda yini. Form 2, ngingene futhi. 2 weeks into Form 2, it became very heavy for me ukuxoshwa every day for fees. First 2 days liyaxoshwa libaningi. Abangabhadalanga ifees melane ngapha liphume. Okay, belane ekhaya etshela abadala uhambe. Kusasubuye futhi now. Form 2, I'm turning 14, sengiqala lambili ukubona amankazana. Sengisiba embarrassed anjo. Angila uniform, angila mabhuku, akubhadalanga ifees. What am I wearing? Nejoka short yami enye white, so ngangithanda. Yabona amabhele la abantu sebawathenga ngokhotha. Thina kithi ayebuya to the church, efike donate bawa spread, then pick up mama.
Oh, that's the only thing you had.
That's the only thing I had. That's the only thing I had.
Yeah.
And then it hope. I love telling this story because it's so fun. It's so funny now, right? Back then it wasn't. I went to school wearing a pajama top, but I didn't know.
Okay.
It was like purple, red, yellow, stripes, Only when I came to Josie now and I'm seeing this thing, and I keep checking, but this is the pajama top. And I'm like, but I wore this thing to school,
Wow.
And I didn't care. Then Istatulo, wakulo munyu put one next door. Shout out to Nicholas Konakata lapa. He took, because wakulenjiva.
Okay.
Konakata. Watata isoli ye bumper, le top ye all star. Because all star le chud la kuka, la peli soli, la sali phezulu. Ayesaqini la udala. Ibumper leliana la phela okwa phezulu isoli yasali right. So watata wathunga wahlangana.
Wathatha ini?
Isoli ye all star, isoli ye bumper, the top part ye all star.
Wow.
Wathunga wahlanganisa. That was my shoe.
Was it a black all star?
It was black, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so into ngangigqoke esikoleni, and it was unique. And as a kid, you know nothing about labels and whatnot. I was just wearing, as long if I was not walking barefoot, for me that's what was important. And then 2 weeks into Form 2, that thing took a toll. I stay like 8 to 10 kilometers away from school. So you wake up every day, udlalise sepa engekho yokugeza udle uhambe for them to torture you and come back. So I just stopped going to school. And I remember that I didn't even say anything to my mom. But because also it was so heavy for her, when she saw me coming back, the following day when she saw me not waking up and going to school, she didn't ask. She didn't say anything. And for me, I think that's when I started really understanding also my emotions and her emotions. And I didn't want to address it with her because I was thinking, what am I going to say? Because she doesn't have any form of income. Dad is not around. no one else is around or can afford isimo sinzima ngasihlalele ekhaya shaya izitina labanye abafana babe ngama-school leavers. I'm 14, and I always say I think i-height yami is inspired by it's standard growth really because I started doing this heavy phakamisa imolo ushaya izitina udaka ugamula izigodo, you understand, but also in that process I started learning a lot about myself. I'm relating so much with these people that are older than me, and we can have a conversation as young as I was, and stopped going to school completely. Towards the end of that year, the headmaster sends my mom a letter and says, "Mntwana lo intelligent. Kabuye school even kungela school fees, so which means now I need to go the following year." So
following year, Form 2.
Yes.
Okay.
So I go to school the following year. When I get there, now, emakhaya umasalu goes to the church now. Shout out to Assemblies of God Laphana. So mela yofakaza phela ubuhle bukaNkulunkulu.
Yeah.
Hamntanami sebembisile futhi esikolo. Hayi siyabonga kakhulu. So the church hears that, and then umunye brings iyembe, umunye ibrugwe. Umzala wami, I remember uNdo Xolisani wangikukisela ibrugwe and then a shirt. My brother now usesebenza ko Canes Foods koBulawayo. Angithumela iyembe ya ko Canes Foods. I had to take off the isikhwama because sibhaliwe, hayi lami ngangathi yabo. Then kulo munye ubhuti wayefuna usisi wami gives me isicatuli when brain
an oversize
thinking ukuthi sasindlingana, thinking ukuthi usizibelo njani uzamkhomba usizwa wabechaye yala ubhutwana wathatha isicathulo zakhe bheki sengisigqoke for 2 weeks into za ngihamba lami ngizidalaza so esikolo sengizokuzwakala manje. He took it back.
Usithatha kanjani?
I don't know. I'm like this guy, Now, to my surprise, when I get back to the school, the headmaster says, "Angayi ku form 2 lo mntwana, akayi ku form 3." For me, that really gave me hope. I was like, whoa, what? They had so much belief in me, and to put that icing on top of the cake, they made 2 weeks into form 3, they made me deputy head boy. Wow. And I think it was a way of them keeping me in school because they felt like maybe I'm going to be discouraged again, and giving me a responsibility. I think they had already also seen the leadership qualities, and then the rest is history. Form 3, then I went into Form 4, head boy, and I passed my O-levels. I remember the school calling me when the results came out. I was in Bulawayo, in a corner of Bulawayo, like for the first time. I had never been there, So, la malaiti, la mingisawa qabuka. The school calls and like, "Oh, you passed." I'm like, "Wow, nice." But then what? Upasilo uzeyaphi, and I found myself good national service, which is a story for another day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard about that.
Yeah. So I kind of got tricked into getting into national service. I didn't know what it was because Emakaya would listen to radio, but radio only gave us information that they wanted us to know. So we didn't know about the other side or the effects of these programs. And it's a program that I appreciate every day of my life because it really exposed me to a world that I never thought I would be. Different tribes in a different area, Kuna kind of gibeli stimela for the first time, traveling from Bulawayo to Harare to Lotito, in Mount Daro, in Mashonaland Central. As much as the program itself was was tough and it affected me a bit, but 90% of what I experienced there made me the person also that I am today in terms of leadership, understanding diversity, and also knowing different things about our country. So we can sit here and have a full episode on its own about the national service.
Okay.
And we'll come and talk about that someday. Yeah.
You know what? I'm really sorry you went through that as a kid, but I wanted to know, Uguti, while you were going through all that, were you the only kid esikolweni ophuma ku background enjalo or bekhona abanye wabona ukuthi obuziduduza ngabo ukuthi at least you know something that kept you motivated ukuthi you know I'm going to go through isikolo ngiqede and all that?
Good question. Very good question. In terms of school fees, stationery and that, there was very few of those. But then specifically school fees, there was a girl called Usteni, and I really need to look for her and find out how she's doing. Yeah, like we struggled. Me and her, we struggled. And with her, she stayed very close to a school, like just like maybe a street away. And my coach, she went up for the fees. I mean, she's just like, you know, page, Ncube. And yeah, it was the two of us. Abanye men, you know, they would struggle here and there. And some, Abanye, they dropped out and never came back, you understand? So the two people that I really, I can remember right now, Yimi, Losten. Kwamanyama grades or kwamanyama forms, yes, you could see some kids would be struggling. Like, we are struggling for the first 2 weeks, Anjo.
Yeah.
Then 2 weeks later, sell uniform, sell stationery and whatnot. I think, yes, there were some that were struggling, but abanye ke belakho konke belabazali abababhadalelayo, they would choose to bank beyecasha kule ndawo ensezi okuthiwa kusemchekisane kule mchekisane eminingi. They'll walk all the way from where they're coming from just to go and sit ezihlahleni because engafuni ukuhlala eklasini. Alinde kuze kuchaya u4 nxa siphuma lathi ahambe walk lathi back home but engangena. It's a thing. Anyone wafunda upper top ensezi emchekisane, you guys know babe bank abantu.
Yeah. So from national service, you said it's a topic for another day, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about you getting to SA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from national service, yeah, so then I get a job at post office. I work as my post. Shout out to the post office, POSB, Lapane, Escotini, delivering my day Yabani. Yabani was very small. I think it had like 500 and something houses. And I remember drawing a map of the place so that it was deliver kahle and all that. It's grown now. I see there's new houses and whatnot. We see the development. And then, yeah, things got tough. Zimbabwe. Ngatenga i-SIM card yami 1 million. And I remember at some point,
Zim dollar.
Yeah. Siyabukela ibhoso eBF. Sagibela esigodini umthova oyi$10,000. Amabhera sicheck kumbe uwini. Then ntambama nxa sisiphenduka usuyi$30,000. That's when I knew ukuthi
things are getting
yeah, I think I need to leave. And one of my brothers, he just came from Ireland, and then he was like, no, you know, you guys need to try South Africa. And 2 January 2006, I left Zimbabwe. Soon after New Year, came to South Africa. The rest is history. I've been here since then. And yeah, coming to South Africa now was Malaicha, Nandi, you know, endleleni. Malaicha wandithanda mina shem ngiyakhumbula ukuthi vina endleleni ngokusithi nxa kusiba lenkinga wayengiprotect. I don't know why. I didn't know why. And sasukele kwabalanda ngisiye esinye siyi-red. So I can't remember the name of the guy because he was sourced by my brother. And come to South Africa, arrive fikele eBeria. I sleep over there for like a day. The following day, move over to Troyville. Mhlaka 7 January, I was working, you know. So they had these, you know, connections with I worked in a factory somewhere, deep CBD. Yeah, I was getting paid 250 rand a week. That was a lot.
Is what?
Yeah, that was a lot. 250 rands per week. Awula mntwana, awula ma responsibilities amaningi. I remember sending some of the money back home to Masado, yabo. Bought a phone. I tenga ama-album anguthiwe Westlife because
wow.
Ngangijiye phela girlfriend yami ekhaya. Or
Yeah.
this love is unbreakable. By yabo Westlife and ngibhe ngimdedicatela.
So cheers boy kancane.
Yeah.
Soft life.
Akula WhatsApp at the time. We were writing letters.
Oh.
Yeah, Shem. I don't know what's on girl. But anyway.
I guess it's a story for another time.
Yes,
so.
yes. And yeah, the parents was effect picking spices and sauces in my shelfini, delivering and whatnot. So that's what I did when I first came to South Africa.
Okay. Tell us more.
And then towards the end of 2006, we had a challenge, where we stayed was a family friend. One day he just woke up and said, you guys need to look for a place. I'm with my cousin. Guys, now I'm becoming an adult. You just came to South Africa. You haven't bought anything. You are told ukuthi somele lidinga indawo. Yeah, and fortunately enough, we found indawo in the same apartment esasikuyo, like flat esasikulo. Sase third floor sathola indawo first floor. Umama lwana wayengowasekhaya. Ikitchen lakhe lalingelakhe. Kongenziwa lokuthiwa liyashare. Amanzi okupheka, Isaac can attest to this. Sasike toilet bathroom. Amanzi okupheka.
Bengafunyana lokuthatha amanzi.
Yes, lalikhiwa.
What?
Uyabona laphana ngafuna ukubuyela ekhaya ngathi no man ekhaya benihlupheka ngcono kulaloko.
That was bad.
We bought two mattresses, so saslala ematrasini, and then there was this, I had forgotten about my girlfriend, I'm sorry. And then I found this Tswana girl, Mtlalepula. So Mtlalepula nguye connector in terms of like, matras thengani laphana in sathenga ingubo lathi sathenga imbiza. Sithenga imbiza lezane ezichelayo lezane zibonisa sithenga kubo my friend.
Yeah.
Xa upheka mele upheka ulindile.
Stuff siku one.
Because that's cheap. And we didn't know any better. And kusacha imanteni lana umama lwana lawa besithi hayi because asimhlupha kakhulu sifuna ukuthatha amanzi ekitchen wabe sithi nabantwana liyanhlupha mantendi lihambe ihlabana amantendi lomzala Isaac sithwala umatras wethu sidinga indawo siphethe umatras so I told bedrooms. It was my first time ukuhlala emkhukhwini. Yeah, hlala emkhukhwini. So for me it wasn't a shock because I'm coming from this poor background, so like at least ngamazenge.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I see people like nyatsa imikuku, I'm like, I don't see anything wrong as long as clean. You understand? And then continue working there. Then cousin one works. I told him he was in Randburg. Ngisale ngiyi-1. Mangisele ngiyi-1. That family friend owathi siphume sihambe, I think they would said umfazi wakhe uyeza or something. Kubuye two people from Gibe kamfazi wakhe indoda lo mfazi. You know what they do? I've never spoken about this, but I'm sure Usmanga will be watching this. Usmanga, a lady, they send her ukuthi azohlala nami emkhukhwini. Mkhukhulana ukuthi you can't even turn. Matrasulana kula space ngapha la ngapha.
Was she family?
She wasn't like family. I only got to know her by then coming from a very distant relative of that family friend. Because usisi lo and wasingusisi omdala, right? She came from Zimatingizim ngalesa sikhathi bekubheka. Ngalala nginje, so like scared to even like touch her while I'm sleeping, and that experience was traumatic.
I can imagine.
For me, because I'm still trying to ngisafuna ukusekhalana Jozi and all that, and then my older brother was on Asakhane in Pretoria, and then he said, no, please, come to Pretoria. So I met Jozi, went to Pretoria, and the rest is history. Pretoria was very good to me. One interesting part about Pretoria was that umsebenzi ngawusebenze Pretoria ngaziqhatsha.
Kanjani?
So my brother says, I work as I'm not going to mention names.
No names.
Usebenza khona yena, and then he says, go to this other one. He sent when he swung his address, and I go there. I start going around, trying to market. I was,
Yeah.
drop my CV, ugqoke black and white. And then it was a t-shirt actually. So I get to this place and then they say, ngifuna umsebenzi, right, as a runner, and it's November. So towards the festive season, ama-restaurant amaningi abeqhatsha for ama-runner because kuzoba busy nanani. Vele lami ngifike ngaleyo approach ukuthi ngifuna uba yini i-runner. And then I hear someone says, uDerek akekho. Ngabe mbamba ibizo lelo, athi Derek. Ngabuyela endlini. Kusasa ngabe ngibuyela. Kusasa ndiyo ngibuyela ngizabe ngifike ngifuna umsebenzi. Ngathi ngifuna uDerek. Kodwa uDerek akekho, ngathi uDerek uthe ngizoqala umsebenzi. That's how I got that job. They put me on the floor. I became a runner. 2 weeks down the line, I was a waiter. 3 months down the line, I was the head waiter. It became so amazing because now I'm being exposed. Josie, I'm working in a factory, but I'm exposed to my people.
Yeah.
So there's nothing new that I'm learning. Pretoria now, Tswana, Ispedi, Afrikaans, yonke into. I don't know these languages. I don't know these things. Ngiyabona ukudla kuphekwa lapho ama-steak la. I don't know those things. I came from the village. And the first Christmas working at Dross, Imilwana, I want to impress my brothers back in Jozi. Ngithi manamba odeli pizza. Kune pizza lena kuthiwa yi-focaccia. Okuyi-pizza based okhana bakufaka i-garlic okudry zo. Okudliwa as a starter. Imilwana ngi-order, I think kuma 26 or 36 rand. Because good cheap, that's the money that I have. Ngiyirana, I'm not getting paid. I'm getting paid tips from the waiters because I clean their tables. Order pizza lena. Angiyivuli nokuyivula.
You don't know what was inside there?
No, what do I know? Okay. Now, I take that pizza back to Joe's. All the way. Semchoveni mbuyana ngaphathela ubhuti pizza. Ngifika lapha na guys pizza. Yeah, I know from my I'm working now.
Yeah.
Baby vula. Abahlekanga. Guys, I can't why that but anyway, I tried and it taught me something. Then after that, I became curious. When I went back to work, I started wanting to learn more. Sengikwazi ukuthi sell on steak, rump steak, you choose this starch whether with chips or potato mash and whatnot. I started learning, and because they saw ukuthi ngiyafunda bangifaka ngaba waiter. From there, I worked there from 2006 November until around 2010, towards the end of 2010, before I came back to Johannesburg.
Okay.
Yeah. How do I come to Johannesburg? I come to Johannesburg because the shop I'm working in Sehli. This is when also I met the mother of my son, and sengihlala somewhere in Randburg. I stay with umzala wami. Yazi ungasebenzi is not easy.
Now you were not working.
Yeah. But shout out to a family, that looks out for one another. Umzala wami was really kind. Nonkosikazi wakhe at the time. The kids that I always post on Facebook are actually ngabantwana bakamzala wami. The reason why we're so close is because mangifika laphana they were young already, and because bengasebenzi, I spent more time with them because the parents would be at work. So I sort of like literally raised them. I was there, like I would walk them to crash and all that. And yeah, a few months down the line, got a job, and it's
and you were so fortunate to find a relative.
Yeah.
Most people, abafika kudala eGoli, if you listen to their stories, you'll be traumatized.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they will tell you, you're not working, you just came back from home.
Yeah.
You're not working,
Yeah.
You stay outside. What you're doing is your business.
Yes.
No food, nothing. So I understand at some point you were unemployed for 4 years.
Yeah.
Is it from the point when you moved to Umzala's place?
Yes. So I moved to Umzala's place. I'm unemployed, and then I get a job and I work, Andisho 24, the team probably is watching, they know at that period. And I lose that Andisho 24 job from 2015 until around 2019. that was the most difficult time of my life. But the reason why, or one of the reasons why I endured and managed to come out of there unscathed, was because of the upbringing. I was like, I was poor when I was young, so what's new? And I remembered also the endurance that I learned or that I attained from initial service. And I didn't get into crime. I didn't live in the street. Yes, there was a point where I was like near homeless situation, but I managed to come out of it. And, out of that period where you are unemployed, there's so much pain and uncertainty, a lot of things were born, like the podcast, the joyful community, after I left, like Asakhane and all that. So that period, as much as it was difficult, it really taught me a lot. It taught me resilience. It taught me also that not everyone around you really cares. Not everyone around you really means well. But I am very grateful for my family because they didn't give up on me during that period. Yes, they couldn't help like entirely, like couldn't pay rent. Abanye babela ma families abo, but uyabe kuthumela umunye there 200 there, 100 rand there, buy you like a small grocery, voucher then and all that. So I am really grateful to my family. Like I would kill, like angifuni uqhubeka kakhulu ngabo.
So talking about this period, when you were unemployed for 4 years, did you move back home or you had families to take you in? Because some people, they struggle.
Yeah.
They end up in the streets and all that because they have nobody here.
Good question. At some point, twice I moved back home.
Okay.
And when I moved back home, I remember at some point I order izinto like basics like nzipokeze washa, thinking I'll go and sell there. Mangifika lapha ngobona ngithole wonke umuntu is selling. I did sell what I sold, but it didn't really, there was no profit. But my situation was so bad that when I moved back home, I only stayed Bulawayo. I couldn't go back home because I didn't want to put my mom through stress. I didn't want her to see me in the state that I was in. Yeah, I did move back home. But because there is a friend who I met, I had met in 2011, and we clicked, and I managed to like help him in terms of the stuff that he was going through. He actually called me at some point, and when I answered the phone, it was a WhatsApp call, and I said I'm in Zim. He's like, "What are you doing in Zim?" I'm like, "I stay here now because South Africa I failed." He's like, "No, you can't do that. Please come back." I'm like, "I don't have a place to stay." He says, "No, you will stay with me." I'm like, "I don't have money for the bus fare." He's like, "I will send you money." He sent me 900 rand. The bus was 300 at the time. Ngahlangachiyala ngiyenzile ama-grocery vele. Abachana laba baza hayi malume sethengile ama-grocery. But they didn't know what was happening. Came back to South Africa and I stayed with him for 2 years. He got me the job that I'm doing right now.
That's great.
And I'm forever grateful to Martin. Martin, you, your family, your friends, everyone, thank you. I'm saying it here today on camera. Thank you. I'll forever be grateful. You know that. You were so good to me. I was a stranger. You didn't even know me. But you took me in. You trusted me. And thank you. That's all I can say. So, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to community work.
Yeah.
Because I think most of us imagine a community, joyful community. But
Yeah.
before that, I heard you talking about Utwaqala Asakhane.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
tell us the story there behind
Yeah.
Asakhane?
Yeah. So I had always been doing community work. There are people that, if people remember really well, Kubo Facebook, who sometimes we'll just gather, we'll get together, but there wasn't really something big or major or notable that we were doing. It was just a matter of like gathering, and I did also a lot of work like in churches around Johannesburg, and because of that, people started noticing me. And a guy called Lawrence Lawrence S. on Asakhane, approached me and said, we see your work and we would really love to work with you. Do you mind joining Asakhane? I didn't know what Asakhane was, and I'm joining. And when I joined Asakhane, I'm hearing there was another Asakhane, there's this, and what, like, there was a bit of confusion and whatnot. And I was like, okay, I'm here now. This is the guy who approached me, and let me work with them. And I was part of the admin team. I worked with them for some years, and there was quite a lot of work that we did. But unfortunately, along the way, we had some differences that I think a lot of people do know about them. And I stepped out. And after stepping out, after some challenges that we faced, some challenges that we had, then 2022, July 2, that's when the Joyful Community was born. But before the Joyful Community was born, the podcast Yabantu was also born, and which I feel...
Which came first?
The podcast Yabantu came first.
Okay.
Podcast Yabantu came while I was inside Asakhane, while I was still working with Asakhane. And because Vele, now we need to get used to this, some of our people, Banbagiti, they felt like I was not the right person to do this or to start this, and they started attacking me. I got cancelled, and then eventually we got cancelled as a podcast Yabantu.
Okay.
With my brother Umongezi, MC Moshava, and the team. Shout out to Klevaye Rasta, Ishmael Sakala later on Cruz of Ezagiti TV, and along the way, this journey has been something else. It deserves its own episode.
Yeah.
Singela studio trying to shoot a straight in a hill, and abafana we started my camera trying to shoot a Bramfontein, a Strateni, the security will stop and you can't shoot here, you need permission first. So when you see episode 89, 90, 91,
Wow.
it has been sweat and blood. So the podcast came first. We got cancelled, stopped a bit, we came back. The Joyful Community was also born out of that space where there was so much pain and rejection and being cancelled by Banbayeti. But then I was like, I'm not going to stop being who I am or doing what I have to do because of people's opinions. And the ones that I wronged, I apologized. The ones that I felt like they were just making up things, I was like, I'm not going to really entertain it. And that's how the Joyful Community was born.
Okay. So speaking about e-community, in what community do you participate exactly?
A lot of South Africans, because living in South Africa for quite some time, I made friends and created circles where we became family. And some of these people are part of that community. Now, this means that community doesn't work specifically for people, especially for the space where I come from. We do a lot of work within South Africa. I think people have seen us donating clothes and food to informal settlements, about Germiston, Mountain, we've gone to Soweto, we've gone to a lot of places within South Africa, Tembisa, we've gone to Alex, Mwabalemlilo, Bechelo, we go and donate. So now going back home, also, you will even notice that as much as I'm from Escotini, I do very minimal work at Escotini, but I do a lot of work everywhere else. I'm working with the one secondary project now where we're building a secondary school. I'm working with some communities in Nyamendlovu. I'm working with communities Gwabulawayo. There's a team that we have, people that are also collecting and redistributing school shoes, school uniforms, and all that. So I cannot really say this is one community that I work with. During the Cholosho floods, I collected 2 truckloads of clothes. During the Chimanimani floods, I collected a truckload of clothes and blankets. During the Binga floods, I collected stationery worth 7,000 rand, wow. And we donated that. So for me, I don't really choose anywhere else I go. We're currently helping people in Plumtree, up here in Abosobancane. We just completed that house. So I draw the boundaries when it comes to where I work and where I help. Everything is straightforward, and That's all I can say around that.
But how do you deal? How do you deal with such situations where you get accused? Because I believe ma uyenza izinto as a community, not everybody will cheer you up
Yeah.
or will see that you are helping the community and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm asking ukuthi ama accusations anje, how do you deal with them? How do they affect you and all that?
Hey, it's not easy. It's not easy. Many times I wake up and I want to quit. And many times I have quit. I wake up like, I don't want to do this anymore. But because this is purpose, this is a gift, what always brings me back to the fore is the people that I serve. I'm not better because I am in a space where I'm able to help people. There's nothing special about me. Because of that understanding, when I get attacked, I always go back to the drawing point, like, why are you doing what you're doing? And if I'm able to understand at that particular moment why I do what I do, it keeps me going. And also the people that I have surrounded myself with. Yes, at some point I did surround myself with people that didn't really understand who I was and what I was doing. And as a result, I lost myself and I lost the purpose of the journey. Anything that was said affected me. But now, I can say here on camera, I don't care.
You don't care.
I don't give a damn. I do this because this is who I am. This is what I was created for. And I am so grateful for having people around me that say, there are people, hey, umunyu kona kona, text that lokyano kubhaliliwe keep.
Keep.
Lokyano kwenzayo yeka. Wena so umunye wanjela yes back. Wanjela so ngaka understand ukuthi watlalela wena kusazoba so wabeqede echiye hamba eZimbabwe.
Wow.
Yazi ukuthi sokusenzakala yonke into wathi ngathi so it is these people that are able to foresee the future, that tell me, and if I was arrogant, I wasn't going to listen to them. Right now, I would have listened to when people troll me online, like, I've been called at some point, you understand? If I wasn't strong enough, I was going to sit there and embrace but for me, I feel very rich. I feel very wealthy. If I can help someone, coach them, UK and change the life of their family, when they tell me that, oh wow, things say UK, I'm able now to do this for my mom, I'm paying school fees for my kids, I'm very wealthy. I'm very rich.
Yeah.
Not that these people are paying me any money, but the fact that there's someone also UK because I set them down, coached them and told them you can do this. Coach them in English, help them apply. And these are things that I've done. And when that person is in the UK and they call me and say, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for coaching me. Thank you for giving me a chance. That's how rich I am.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. We'll come back. We'll come to the coaching thing.
Yeah.
Still, I have to ask you a question there.
Yeah.
Get you full that I think I skipped.
Yes.
How did you come up to do this community work?
Yeah.
Is this something where to kula ushuguti? I want to do this.
Yeah.
And I also want to know who is behind that. Are you doing that, or you one, or there are people behind all this?
Mom, mankonjeni umawandlu sonqaba ukhokozela nje nina lisedlo modlo. She during that I shared earlier on about how poor we were. But umama lona sebesingela kudla. We've got the last meal. Seshera. I used to get so angry. I'm looking and I'm like, why?
Wow.
And that taught me the spirit of sharing. That taught me ukuthi we are people because of other people. And honestly, I didn't understand at the time. She knew what she was doing. She would share the little that she had with the community because she knew that the moment when she goes to these people, they will also help her.
Okay.
So I can tell you that the joyful community has always been something since I was 14. That time when I dropped out of school. Because I would go into the village and look for ugogo okhulileyo ongakwazi ukuzikela amanzi. Ngihambe ngiyomkhela amanzi.
Come talk to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yabo. So now, shout out to Asakhane Live because they showed me with actually you can do this. Because I got into Asakhane, and the work that we did there, Nabolindo and the team, made me realize, actually I can do this. And if it wasn't for Asakhane, I can tell you today, I don't think I was going to have the joyful community.
Wow.
And uNkulunkulu efuna futhi esazi ubona ukuthi okay sharp useAsakhane, but you need to become your own brand. And for you to become your own brand, if uNkulunkulu nxa wayengathi okay phuma uyoqala ijoyful community, I don't think I was going to hear him. It had to come through pain, because I believe that
Through
pain.
Okay.
Because I didn't live well with Asakhane.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it. Okay. I think there's a question there. Hey, that's a beautiful question, because Asakhane, everyone who was there when I was on Asakhane would tell you, I'm Papa. I was everywhere. And that was okay, because it exposed me to spaces and experiences that I don't think I was going to be exposed to if I didn't Papa. And I met him challenge where they misinterpreted, where like I would meet Yabantu Estradane. People were so excited to see me. I mean, I didn't know what people knew me. I didn't know that I was becoming famous. I didn't see this that way, because my aim was to serve the community. While serving the community, people appreciated that. And then they'll meet me. Yes. I didn't want to call it that. Then people will find me yesterday. They're like, wow, can I take a picture? And then they will take pictures with me. And they will post those pictures. This is a person that I don't know. This is a stranger that I'm bumping into Esantini, Everton, Eval, Pretoria. And they posted those pictures because the person who said I met him was a person who I met Estradane. And she mentioned a challenge that she was facing. Being a coach, because I was already studying coaching at the time, I spoke to her, and what I said to her helped her. Then she came to Asakhane and she's like, thank you so much, Bujoy, for 1, 2, 3. Then she said, I met him. Then someone else said, I met him challenge. I met him too. I met him. People started posting.
Okay.
And it got misinterpreted by our people, mostly who don't understand the use of social media. It turned out ugly, which I admit that some of the things that, like especially when people were posting, it didn't sit well with some people, especially in a case where like someone is in a relationship, this is a lady, and then is now posting another man, you understand? Which it didn't sit well with people. And then I grew inside of Asakhane, and then we started doing bigger projects. If you remember, during COVID, we collected around plus or minus 250K. And then for buying PPE for Thorn Grove, Abompilo Hospital, I was part of those projects. Now, when it came to money, there was a channel how money was channeled into Asakhane, things like Facebook fundraiser, PayPal, and all that. I never had any access to anything called money, right?
Okay.
And because of that, I appreciated it, because it means I was safe from being accused. Then along the way, we had our differences, and I left Asakhane. After having left Asakhane, I think people now trying to clean their names then had to use me as a scapegoat and say, joyful this. I never had access to any money with Asakhane, which is why when I got accused of Ukchonji Mali, I joined one of the lives that was done by my sister Osisa. Gary was there, and I went there. I said, today I want proof. I want my V11s. Tell me which money did I steal, and where and how. The reason why I was so confident in joining that live is because I knew I never had access to money. The only money that we had access to is the one that, like as I said, I would post and be like, says totally 850. In buying Leon, we'll also come back with receipts and change. And everyone can attest to that. That's how I worked. And I don't think if I had not been in that situation, if I had not been in Asakhane, maybe good joyful community or mina as a brand, maybe kuba ngikwenzi khona kya ukubhala the monies that we receive, because I wasn't going to see the need. The reason why I started writing those monies is because I knew I was working with different people, a lot of people. People are different, but fine. I mean, I wanted to be as transparent as possible. So in terms of money, the accusations, I accept when people do accuse people and allege that someone did 1, 2, 3. But if someone can accuse umuntu kungabile proof, it can. One of the things that it does, it damages the image of the person who is being accused. But it's unfair.
It is.
You understand? It's unfair because I never had access to money. Or collect money about LVs and whatnot. I think it's very sensitive, especially when it comes to there was a death where mali was collect or mele sanju semfazinga Elvis. Then my name allegedly now was mentioned. I mean, I never had access to that money. No one came to me and said, "Lay mali Elvis hamisa lapa." Nobody did that. I avoided collecting such monies because we had a channel. Asakhane had that channel, which was good in terms of transparency and all that. About Facebook fundraiser, imali zazibonakala, GoFundMe, imali zazibonakala, and I never had access to that. So I think that's what I can say. Now, the person who was accusing me, I said it also live yaki. We used to work together personally, where he used to transfer money into my bank account, sometimes even without telling me. I would just see a notification saying 2,000 rand has been transferred to your account. Then I'll ask him, "Oh, did you transfer money?" "Yes." "Okay, sharp." Then he would say, 2,000 rand le. Kungaba lo muntu ofuna ugets uzomnikeza from that man. Then I said, rather let's do this. When kungaba labantu abafuna usizo, you will tell me, you will instruct me to do that.
Yeah.
I said it live, which is why after that he never said anything after that. That money would be sort of dispersed or allocated to these people according to his instruction. Ingaphela ngithi okay, siphelile imali. I never charged anything for my bank charges, for my time or anything. But later on, just to be accused of something that I didn't do. So that's what we go through. And I think, I don't know if your question is answered. Very beautiful questions. The people that I work with or the people that are in the same space, baning abantu that are doing charity work, abanye enyabe ngibabona from a distance, abanye ngisebenza labo, and also businesses that are around us help us. Baning abantu that I've worked with, and one of the biggest things that I push kakhulu is transparency. Ngizoqala ngoVigi. Nobuhle Vigi of Nobuhle Vigi Foundation. I've known Vigi from before when we started doing charity, and we do a get together. And before she is someone I work with, she's a friend, she's a sister, she's someone that I respect so much, and likewise she respects me back. And we've worked together in so many projects. And what I love about our relationship is that along the way, we have had differences, but we address them. But I cannot say the same with other people that do the same thing because maybe they work in a particular way that I don't agree with. And I've always made sure that I de-associate myself with such. And even as when I do that, I don't then go around and saying, laba bayenza kanje, thina senza kanje. And then I've got a lot of people also around me, good joyful community that I work with. We're speaking of Abo Sis Wenzile, Tembo Dube, we've got Abo Sis and B, we've got Abo Hazel Zuma. I've worked also with the people from Ekhaya Langibela Khona Bonqabuthi Nicholas Mabena. We've got Kobulawayo, we have Osbono Kuhle Moyo, who does a lot of work in terms of Ngasise quality. Now, when there's things that are gathered, she's the one who runs around in collecting these things. She's the one who distributes some of these things that we do. As we speak right now, she's got one of my school shoes that she collected that we're doing this project. And she's also done a lot in collecting charity like items and redistributing. And the reason why I'm mentioning these people, these are people that I've worked with that are transparent. These are people that also I can see what into bayenza ngoba it deep inside. Like as I'm saying, with Usponogutle and Zim. We know how hard in Zimbabwe things can be, but she runs around. Right now, she's doing a project where she's collecting anything and anything for kids, adults. She collects clothes, food, hampers, and whatnot. She redistributes to people that are in need, Kubongozi mine, the children in the street. A Country Park, I think she has helped quite a lot of families. So in terms of, then there are some people that I just don't agree with how they work. And what I do, I detach myself from that. As long as I have not mentioned a person, it doesn't matter what they do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how big the thing is. Some people sometimes do because they've got the money. But I feel like the people that I've mentioned, they do it because they've got the heart. That's the difference. So I go with people that do these things with the heart, not because they want to be seen, not because they want to be famous from that. Question number 2. I have mentioned my mom quite a lot in terms of how she's been pivotal in this. There was a point where I wanted to stop doing charity because I felt like my mom is struggling where she is, and here I am busy with community work. One of the things that made me continue doing community work, even when I was struggling myself, even when my mom was struggling myself, is because I remember going home and I said, I am struggling with this because I'm doing community work, and here we are, Tina, not only her, we are struggling. Because even during that 4 years of unemployment, do you know what people would do? They will inbox me, and I'll put it out there. Gather money, gather food, go deliver, while I didn't have.
And now,
yeah.
Wow.
So I'm going to say it here today, as much as it might sound a bit insensitive to some people, charity doesn't begin at home.
Okay, I was about to say that.
Charity does not begin at home. It's a lie. We say it because we are selfish. We say it because we want. Now, people don't understand how we do charity. I'm not taking anything from my pocket. Because the moment I go out to people and say, help me so that I can help my mom, that's unfair. We go out there, collect what we collect because we have been called to do this, to help people, even when we don't have ourselves. But I was honest enough to go to my mom and tell her what I do. Because of the person that she is. She understood. And I would help her where I could, here and there. She would tell me, oh, angla mali guy. And I'm like, angila. But I can't go to people and say, Mama, mngala mali guy, because they will not help. They will start attacking me. They'll start saying, yeah, manje bheka usesenzani in. And there's something that my mom said that kept me going. She said, if we manage to do what you are doing right now, when we had nothing, when it was back in the day, and survived, it means God wanted that to happen. This is a phase that we are all going to go through, but when the time is right, God is going to allow you to do what you do. I sit here today, right now, with a mother who is happy, with projects that we're currently working on for her now, without asking from people. Because God, having allowed us to be tested, suffer, not only her, but even ourselves. Where right now, I don't want to really reveal a lot, where we are now able to do what we are doing for her. She's got Starlink right now at home. I can call and give video call. But we didn't have all that back in the day because there was quite a lot of things that we were struggling with. That was not only just us being able to help her, but family dynamics, spiritual things and whatnot. And if we were not real enough, I was actually supposed to stop doing charity because I was not able to help my mom. Because I understood and I was genuine in my heart. Because I would come to Sehli and say, do you have a spare shoe that you have? Yes, thank you so much. Can you please help me? I need to donate to Sponogush. She gives me and I donate to Spo. Now, I can't then now sit here and stop helping Sponogush because now I'm scared to see I can't help it because I haven't helped my mom. That's where we miss it.
Okay.
And yes, sometimes some people won't understand. Or if my mom didn't understand that, it was going to look like I'm failing my mom while I'm busy helping the community. But people should understand that the community work that I do, I don't have money out of my pocket to help the community. I'm going around. The only skill that I have is to gather these resources to help these people. And I can tell you here today, and I'm a proud son of a mother who, when I gather some of the things that I donate in Mbizingwe, I send them directly to her. She is the one right now who is my ambassador in Mbizingwe with my young brother. She takes these things to the schools, to people around, and it's been a journey. It's been a very difficult journey.
A beautiful
I
one.
really love the fact that you asked that question, because some people don't understand. And people have never seen me post umuzwankaya or anything of that sort. They've never heard me a lot of time speaking about my mom.
Yeah.
Because at some point I was embarrassed. I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to approach it, because now you're sitting there thinking, not that there was anything bad about umuzwankaya, but I wasn't comfortable.
But you have to be embarrassed about where you come from.
Yeah, especially in this age where people scrutinize everything.
Do you care?
I cared, not anymore.
Oh, okay.
I did care at some point, because I felt like, what are people going to say? But I got to a point where I really understood my purpose. I really understood my calling. I was like, I don't care. I don't care what people think. And man, oh man, like something that I actually announced recently, that I am not anymore doing any charity that involves individuals.
Yeah.
Because of the challenges that I faced. I only now work with organizations, institutions. You'll find me in communities where we're building schools, clinics, and anything. But anyone else that comes and says, sorry, Bujoy, I don't have money for transport, I don't participate in that anymore, because of the challenges that I have faced with people who I help today. Tomorrow they come back, the same people that you help come back and attack you. We can sit here and debate all day. Yeah, you shouldn't care, whatnot. I'm human. I've got a heart. I get hurt. And I've been hurt by that. So much that along the way I wanted to quit. But every time when I work with the community, I've seen that I get encouraged. I want to do more. And with the blessings from my mom, who sat me down and said, this is your calling. This is who you are. She explained to me how I was born and why. She made me understand why I do what I do. Because in that period where she's lacking, she's also doing the same thing in the village. And she's known for that. Ask anyone from Mbizingwe who will tell you that woman, even with her last cent, she would share. So I've got an extended family that sometimes some people feel like maybe I should be helping Umtanagasi with each fees and whatnot. I can't help everybody. I sit here today in front of these cameras. There are some people that even if I wish to, I can't. And I will never come to the public and ask for help from my family. It doesn't matter how dire it is. I will not do that. Yeah.
So speaking about the community, what do you think makes a strong community?
Unity. A community that is comprised of people that know who they are. We can sit here with money and everything. As long as people don't know who they are, they don't know their culture, where they come from, the community is not going to be strong. The reason why our community is strong is because it is built on the ethos of Ubuntu, respect, which is why if you go to the Joyful community right now and say, keep, we don't care whether you are going through something. But if you can't apologize, if you can't fix your wrongs or your past, then you don't belong to the community. Okay. That community is only strong not because of me, but because of the people that I have. I've got Sis Wenzile, I've got Aunt B, I've got Hezwell, Msholozi. These are guys that even outside of outside of the community, they still carry the community name, and they will tell you, but when we go to that community, everything has to be done this way. We're not playing, we are working, and most of all these guys are older than me, I think, except to Zuma Sialinga. But I have made it a point that this is how we work, and that alone. We have our differences sometimes, like, why did you approve that post? But what we know is that we stick to the ethos, which is Ubuntu and just being a community.
I've got a last question for you.
Yeah.
What else do you do? Can you please briefly tell us about?
I'm a professional life coach.
Yeah.
which I was given a full scholarship by a stranger, Christina, all the way in Italy. She paid for my fees, bought me a laptop, bought me data for 3 years, and she didn't even know me.
Was it a stranger?
Yeah, this was a stranger.
Okay, that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah. I'm a community leader. You know, there are still people like that. I'm a podcaster. I'm a community leader, as you said. I'm a content creator. Also, I work in the insurance space, so I'm an insurance specialist. Also, what else? There's quite a lot, but I think these are the things that I can like remember at this present moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in you've got a lot to say.
Yes.
You've got a lot of questions, but
Yeah.
so melesi valelana
Kulo mbuzo
sihloko.
ungambuzanga wona.
Which question is that?
Kuthiwa mina lawe siyajola.
Ngubani osho njalo?
Ngabantu ngumphakathi.
Kanjani? Ubhuti nosisi bake bajola?
Thank you.
Like seriously?
There you have it.
Hi guys, ubhuti nosisi kanjani? That's taboo.
Omunye that wabuza wathi nice couple. I said, how can you say nice couple to
People
your brother
always
and sister?
say whatever they want.
Yeah.
But anyways, Mina not Joffy, we brothers and sisters, guys.
That's why you
best
see us
friends
here.
as well.
Best
That's
friends.
why we see and colleagues as well.
Thank you.
So yomjolo lena umfuna uJoffy usingi guys.
Ungangenzi njalo uzangespoza bazonhlupha.
Anyways, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. You know, we pray and wish you well in future.
Thank you. Thank you.
Joyful Ncube.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, from us, podcast Yabantu, Sehli Nondo, and
Campro Studios.
hello. See you next time. Thank
Danko.
you.